Hi team, and welcome back to our Introduction to European History Anchor Fact series of printables and mini lessons. It's been so long since World War II that few people who served in that war are still alive. But if historians do their job, it will not be forgotten. There are two main parts to the war. A war in Asia, launched by the Empire of Japan, and a war in Europe launched by Nazi Germany. In this introduction, we will focus mainly on the second one. It began on September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded its neighbor Poland. Germany and Russia had made a deal leading up to the war that they would carve up Poland together. It wasn't the first time they had made such a deal, and Poland could not stand up to both enemies. But when Poland was invaded, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany. It feels like a repeat of World War I in many ways, and it was. After World War I, the Germans were unhappy for having been blamed for that war. So, when Adolf Hitler rose to power in 1933, it was with a message that he would restore Germany to its proper greatness. Hitler claimed to have an explanation for why Germany had lost World War I. It was that Germany was full of people who were not really German. These people, the Jews, were not loyal to the German nation, he claimed. Hitler's conspiracy theory was called the Durchstochlegende, which means the stab in the back myth. Hitler's supposed solution to this supposed problem would be to attack Germany's external enemies and take their land to create a Gross Deutschland, a greater Germany, and to eliminate its enemies inside. To do the second, he would order the rounding up of the Jews in Germany, put them in concentration camps, and have them killed. The name of this tragedy, rightly considered the most evil act in history, is the Holocaust. Because of it, 6 million Jewish people were killed in the most brutal ways. We simply cannot go into the details here. It's a subject that all adults must learn about, because it shows just how terrible human beings can be to one another, and it must be learned in order to understand why people can behave that way. The name of the answer in this case is Nazism, which is short for National Socialism, a topic that must be studied properly by all students of history, especially at an older age. Both parts of Hitler's plan were almost a success. Hitler invaded Russia despite making a deal with them, and it cost Russia 24 million lives to push him out, with the help of the United States, which provided huge amounts of weapons to Russia. Hitler invaded France and controlled it during most of the war, until the United States, Britain, and Canada, and others launched the D-Day invasion of Normandy, or northern France, and began to push him back in Western Europe. Why was the United States involved? In our Anchor Fact series of mini lessons on American history, available for free on the Knowable World website, we talked about how President Wilson believed the United States should intervene because the world must be made safe for democracy. In World War II, things went differently. The United States was attacked partway through the war at Pearl Harbor by the Empire of Japan. At that point, even though Americans wanted to stay neutral, they could not avoid war. Once again, American involvement tipped the balance. Russian and American troops converged on Germany with their allies on all sides. Germany was completely conquered this time. Adolf Hitler killed himself rather than be captured. The next year, Japan surrendered as well. It was the worst war in history by far. Europe was in the worst shape it had ever been. Many cities were in ruins. Tens of millions were dead. As we will see in our final lesson in this series, the Europeans decided that the main cause of the war was not National Socialism, but merely nationalism. This caused them to react in a specific way. They decided to abandon nationalism, but not socialism. The modern European Union that we talked about in Lesson 1 is the result. I look forward to wrapping up this series next time, and don't forget, we have Anchor Fact series on America, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, China, Canada, and still more important topics. Please come see us at nobleworld.com for more information and to learn about the live program of the Noble World History Program, where you can get much more than an introduction. You'll get the full revelation and explanation of the world we live in. See you next time.